Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to part 23 of What If Kurama gave Naruto a dojutsu. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share it to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out Naruto, the God of Shinobi, on my second channel. I posted a new episode. And after this, I will be posting What If Naruto went back in time. So remember to stay in tune and enjoy that, guys. And if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click that red subscribe button and join the Anime King family and be a part of the channel, guys. And go ahead and check out my second channel as well, Anime King 2. So for now, let's get straight into this. Play the intro. You can change. You satisfy the rage in me. Take away my pain. You satisfy the rage in me. To do a bit of a recap, after the Chunin exams and the whole ordeal with Gaara was over, Naruto was made Jonin by Sarutobi, who survived the attack by Orochimaru, and his team was also promoted to Chunin, and Shikamaru as well. And Naruto and Tasumi finally got together in the last part, and she wanted to know what kind of woman will Naruto be inviting in the order that the council placed on him, that he should be with a lot of women so he can share his dojutsu. Naruto then run through hand sign as he slammed his hand on the ground and a huge puff appeared in the house. So basically that was the last part we left off, but you guys can go ahead and check it out for yourself. So let's start this new part. A little warning next time, Naruto, said the Kyuubi as she stood in a black kimono. As Naruto grinned, sorry about that, Kyuubi. I simply figured that Tasumi would want to meet you. Hana and Tasumi widened their eyes as the both of them stood to their feet and pointed at Naruto. Naruto, how is the Kyuubi out? Shouldn't she be sealed in you? Hana asked. Naruto then went into a thinking pose as he tried to answer the question that Hana asked him. Tasumi took in the Kyuubi features and had to say that she looked like a woman that guys would kill for. After hearing the stories about the Kyuubi and what happened years ago, Tasumi and Hana didn't really hate the Kyuubi as they see her as a victim. But the thought of the Kyuubi being out in the open was a little unsettling. Technically, she isn't free, Hana. I was able to release her from the seal so she can enjoy the outdoors. But the seal is still in effect. If I die, she die also. Kyuubi promised me that she won't hurt the civilians despite the life that they put me through. So along with you, Tasumi and Kiba, I trust all of you, said Naruto. Tasumi kept her gaze on the Kyuubi while the Kyuubi turned around and smiled. It's nice to see the one that Naruto loves so much, the Kyuubi said, which got Tasumi out of her serious gaze as she smiled and then reached out a hand. Kyuubi gave it a firm shake as the two of them smiled at each other. Can I trust that you won't destroy my clan and the village? Tasumi asked, in a joke, which the Kyuubi gave a soft smile and shrugged her shoulder at the question. Tasumi's chakra flared along with the Kyuubi as both of their grips got harder. Naruto, Kiba and Hana sweat dropped while their dogs backed up behind their individual masters. Both of them kept up the duel for a while, but they then released as the Kyuubi went back in a soft tone. I will try not to destroy this village for Naruto's sake, but I made no promise with the civilian council and the bastard that put me under that genjutsu, the Kyuubi responded. But she was surprised when Tasumi snickered and nodded about the council members. Tasumi turned to Naruto and the others and smiled. Well, due to circumstances, I am sure that the Kyuubi is strong enough, so if you love her, I don't see why not. Anyone else you're going to surprise me with? Tasumi asked. Naruto turned as he was about to point at Kasumi, but he stopped when there was a knock at the door. Naruto paused as Tasumi went to check who was at the door. After about 3 minutes, Kasumi returned with a groan while scratching the top of her head. Naruto, we need to get dressed. You, me, Haku, and Kiba are needed in the council room immediately, Tatsumi said. As Tatsumi then turned her gaze to the Kyuubi, as Naruto paled, thinking that the Kyuubi was seen when he summoned her to help him against the Shikaku. But if he hadn't, the village would have been destroyed and it wouldn't remain a village anymore, and most people would have died, he thought to himself. Naruto sighed as he simply left the kitchen with the others, as he found his dark green vest on the couch. He then put on his shinobi sandals and strapped his two swords to his back. Alright, is everyone ready to go? Naruto asked them, as Tatsumi Kiba nodded as they headed off. After spending some time walking, Naruto saw Haku waiting for them at the entrance of the Hokage Manor. Naruto gave a small wave while Haku then joined the group. Naruto made some small conversation between Haku and Kiba since he wondered what they did yesterday. Kiba told Naruto that they simply celebrated at a barbecue restaurant with Shikamaru and Shino. They all then walked in as they passed the receptionist as she scolded at Naruto, while the Kyuubi Tatsumi looked at her with an angry look on their face as she then lowered her head while they all went in. Looks like everyone is here, said Naruto as he looked at the civilian council as they all glared at him, as the shinobi council did not really pay attention. Tatsumi turned to Naruto as she kissed his cheek, as everyone was surprised who didn't know about Tatsumi and Naruto's relationship, since it pretty much started yesterday. She waved bye to Naruto as she took her seat at the council. Naruto gave a soft yawn, trying to keep himself cool, but inside, he was wrecking himself, trying to think of a way about how he's going to tell the council about the Kyuubi if they saw her yesterday. Soon Sarutobi came to the center as he sat in the seat as the meeting began. Alright, we are all here, so let's have this meeting, said Sarutobi. Everyone nodded as they all turned their gaze to Naruto, as Hayashi was even glaring at him harder, but Naruto tried to ignore it all. Naruto, do you know why you have been summoned here? Sarutobi asked. Naruto shook his head in a negative, while Sarutobi took a puff of his pipe and returned his gaze back to Naruto. It seems like most of the Shinobi Council would like an explanation with your match against Neji Hyuga during the Chunin exams, said Sarutobi. Naruto relaxed a little as he glad it wasn't the question that he thought it was. Alright Gigi, what would you and the council like to know? Sarutobi turned his head to the shinobi side to make them enter the conversation, but out of the corner of his eyes, he saw Danzo as he took note of that. Inoichi stood to his foot as he looked at Naruto before speaking. Naruto, we would like to know about some of your skills during the Chunin exams, Inoichi said, trying to find the best words to use. Naruto raised an eyebrow at the head of the Yamanaka, but he nodded. We would like to know how you acquire the skills and the dojutsu of the Hyuga clan. We are very aware of your new dojutsu and that it allows you to copy bloodlines. But please tell us how you acquire those skills, Inoichi said, as every clan head turned their gaze on Naruto. Even Tatsumi really wanted to know, but she didn't seem too interested, since she could ask Naruto whenever about it. Naruto sighed as he ran his hand through his hair. I got the Byakugan when I saw the match that Neji Hyuga had against Hinata Hyuga. I was angry that he could do that to a member of his own clan, and my dojutsu activated on its own because of my rage, while I was staring at Neji with his Byakugan activated. As for how I was able to use a fighting stance so well that I was able to beat Neji, I watched two Hyuga members sparring in a training ground. I didn't know if they were main branch or side branch, so I simply watched, Naruto said to them. Everyone nodded with their understanding. If only Naruto, Kiba, the Kyuubi and Kasumi. No, he was only telling half of the truth. Inoichi nodded and took his seat, while Hayashi stood to his feet. I find it impossible that you can master the fighting stance in just a mere month. Not even the most best Hyuga member can learn our stance that fast, Hayashi said, trying to tell Naruto that he's lying. Naruto sighed as he scratched the back of his head as he looked at Hayashi. Nothing is impossible with the cage bungee jutsu. What will take about 12 years for you people will only take about 2 to 3 weeks for me. So imagine hundreds of clones with the Byakugan and the fighting stance while they practice and work it out. Although I am new, I think that I can even make you sweat, Hayashi, said Naruto with a smile, as Haku and Kiba snickered, while Hayashi gave Naruto a deep glare for the response. But the entire room was shocked to what Naruto did after that. Naruto bowed his head, much to everyone's surprise, as he kept his head low before Hayashi. Hayashi, I am very sorry that you think I stole your dojutsu from you and your clan. I wouldn't steal technique from others without their permission. I will simply like to say sorry if I offended your clan in any way, Naruto said. Hayashi glared then softened as he gave a quick nod as he sat back down. Sarutobi smiled at Naruto for his apology, while Shikaku Nara stood up. So Naruto, you can copy any dojutsu or bloodline. It doesn't matter what it is. Naruto simply nodded, while the Kyuubi scoffed in the mindscape. Is he saying that I can't make something like that? Sure, it take me a time to create, but come on, I am one hell of a genius. Some people have no respect for the brilliant Kyuubi, the Kyuubi said as Naruto chuckled inside his mind, as he then turned back to Shikaku Nara to answer his question. Yes, Shikaku, it doesn't matter which dojutsu or bloodline I copy. I am capable of copying them all. I could even copy yours, Inoichi's, well, all of the Jonin's bloodlines. Naruto said with a simple shrug of his shoulders, as Tatsumi chuckled slightly, as she didn't really pay too much attention because she already know this. Shikaku then turned to Sarutobi. So Hokage, what do you think that we should do? Naruto isn't a part of any of the clans in Konoha, yet he can use all of our techniques if he wanted to. Do you think he should have his own clan, or he should join one of the already existing clan? Shikaku asked as Sarutobi sighed and put his elbows on the table as he looked at all of the clan's head and then back at Naruto. As he then scratched the back of his head as he found this to be unavoidable anymore. Naruto already has his own clan, said Sarutobi, which made everyone gasp. Even Tatsumi got interested, as Haku and Kiba turned their attention to Naruto as they were confused. What do you mean, Hokage? This boy doesn't belong to any clan, a member of the civilian council said to him. Sarutobi chuckled and took a puff of his pipe before looking back at Naruto. Actually, he does. Naruto already belongs to 2 clans, one of them being the Uzumaki clan. He is the heir of the Uzumaki clan, who was an ally with Konoha. They are actually one of the founding clans of Konoha, but they were wiped out. Naruto is the last member and therefore the heir to the clan and all of its jutsus. He is also the last person of one last family. It wasn't a clan, but it was an important family, Sarutobi said, keeping everyone in suspense. Well, almost everyone. Naruto already knew about being the last Namikaze, but being the clan head of the Uzumaki, he didn't. All of the clan head turned to him, as Danzo gritted his teeth. Well, Sarutobi, tell us who this boy family is. It might be important to the benefit of Konoha, Danzo said, as Sarutobi chuckled and turned his gaze to Naruto. Naruto, due to circumstances, I wasn't able to tell you about your parents. I am sorry about that, but it was a promise. I wasn't able to tell you until you turned 18 or become a Chunin, but you made Jonin, so you're more than eligible to hear this, Sarutobi said as everyone was waiting. Naruto for a fact knew who his father was, but his mother, he wanted to know so much. Well, said Sarutobi, Naruto is the son of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki, the Red Death of Konoha. He is the last of the Namikaze family, Sarutobi said, stunning everyone in the room. Naruto widened his eyes at the mention of his mother's name. Tasumi dropped her jaw with the other clan heads, while the civilian council mumbled to themselves about this being impossible. Kiba and Haku gave Naruto a confusing look, while Danzo had a smirk across his face, which he quickly hid right away. How is this possible? The Yonde never had a son, and even if he did, it wouldn't be a shinobi like this, someone said as Sarutobi glared at them, making them went quiet instantly. Naruto, there is a compound deep in the woods, past the Aberame and the Hyuga family. You will find the Namikaze compound there. As to the benefits of being the clan head, you are allowed a seat on the council. However, since you're a clan head, the CRA strengthens and you need more than 4 women to maintain the entire clan, Sarutobi said as Naruto raised an eyebrow. So, how many this time? Naruto asked. You will need at least 10 women for a stable clan, Sarutobi said as Naruto's mouth hung slightly in the air. Naruto then turned to Shibi, Shikaku, and Inoichi. They are clan heads, but I don't see a lot of women hanging around them. Sarutobi smiled, but nodded as he switched his gaze to the Inochiko Cho. It is different for clans and their dojutsu or bloodline. Dojutsus are more substantial, so the amount of people for a clan, it depends. Since Stern is new and quite powerful, you need that many women so you can pass it down. Naruto shrugged his shoulders as he turned to Tasumi, who simply shrugged her shoulders and smiled weakly. As Naruto rubbed his head, as Sarutobi then took something out of his pocket. Naruto, here is a note from your father. I wanted to give it to you sooner when you became Jonin, but you ran away so fast I couldn't. I assumed that you had some other business to take care of, Sarutobi said as he turned his gaze to see Tasumi blush along with Naruto. The envoy passed over the note to him as Naruto took the note. As he started to read it, Dear Naruto, hey son, how are you doing? This is your father talking to you. The Kyuubi is currently outside of Konoha, and it doesn't look like it's going to leave. I know you must be mad for the burden I placed on you, but I want you to know that I believe in you, and you can use the benefit of the Kyuubi for the village. You should have seen your mother when I told her my plan. She got really mad at me, but I had no choice, so I had to knock her out. I have no idea where she is right now, but she is still alive. I imagine that she thinks that you're dead. If you find her, please don't be upset with her. I think that it's because of her maternal instinct that she has so much grief. I asked Sarutobi not to tell you anything until you can handle yourself against my enemies. There was a rather sore spot with me and IWA, and they will love the chance to take their vengeance on you because of me. And I didn't want you dying because of your dad, so I kept it hidden. Find our compound and lead it well. I leave all of my best techniques with you, the Rasengan along with the Flying Thunder God. Both are quite difficult to master, but I know you can do it. Make your dad proud, and find your mom for me, and tell her that I'm sorry. I love you, Naruto, your father, Minato Namikaze. Naruto finished reading the note as a few tears fell down his face as he clutched the note in his hand. The room was silent as they tried to judge Naruto's reaction. Naruto gave a soft smile as he chuckled slightly. Are you okay, Naruto? The Kyuubi asked. Naruto smiled as he lowered his head before answering. I'm fine, Kyuubi. I am just a little shaken up, he said. He then smiled as he looked at Sarutobi. Thank you, Jiji. I would love to take over the Uzumaki clan and the Namikaze family. I know that it will be hard, but I know I can do it. Just one question, Naruto said, bringing everyone's attention to him. What is it, Naruto? Sarutobi asked, as everyone wanted to know his question. If the Sharingan is so important, Then why don't you enact the CRA on Sasuke or give him a seat at the table? Naruto asked as he wondered if he would regret that question. Everyone widened their eyes as most were tending to the Uchiha, as they never thought of that, as some of them turned to Sarutobi. That's a good question, Naruto, but I don't have an answer to that, unfortunately, said Sarutobi as Naruto shrugged his shoulder in a response. So, if that is it then, why did Haku and Kiba had to be here? Naruto said as he didn't understand why they were called. Haku and Kiba turned their gaze to their Hokage as everyone went back to mumbling. Right, it seems during the invasion, some Anvu saw two Bijus fighting each other. I know that one of the Sand Genins is a Jinchuriki, but did your seal weaken at any? Sarutobi asked, while some of the council members got worried. Naruto mentally cursed as he wasn't prepared for that question. Naruto knew that if he told them about the Kyuubi being free, dojutsu or not, Namikaze or Uzumaki family or not, he would be done for. I admit, I was fighting the giant Shikaku demon, said Naruto, but I didn't see a giant fox. It must have been one of my fox summoning that the Anvu saw. I have the fox contract, and there are some foxes that are big as the Kyuubi, but nowhere as powerful. Maybe that is what they saw, as some of the council members seemed to relax. Tatsumi mentally chuckled at that, but she didn't say anything, as such a secret will cause mass panic in the village. Haku, Kiba, can you confirm Naruto's statement? Sarutobi asked. The both of them nodded in agreement, since they know how a touchy subject the Kyuubi was. If anyone would found out that it was free, well, not exactly freed. Alright Naruto, I have one more information for you and your squad, Sarutobi said. Naruto, Haku, Kiba raised their eyebrow as Naruto was tossed a book, as both Kiba and Haku looked over his shoulder as they all gasped. You can't be serious, said Naruto, as Sarutobi nodded. It was a bingo book, and Naruto's name was at the front. Naruto Uzumaki, birth, October 10th, height 5 feet, weight 96 pounds, occupation, Jonin of Konoha, information, known to possess above average skills. He defeated the Sand Demon, container of the Nine-Tailed Demon, known for defeating A-rank missing names. Bounty, 30 million yens, captured and brought to IWA. Status, B rank. Approach with caution, and approach with extreme caution when Kiba Inuzaka is with him. As Naruto then looked over at the next name, Haku, Momokai, birth, January the 9th, height 5'2", weight 95 pounds, Chunin of Konoha. Information, possess a Kekkei Genkai for ice release from the Yuki clan. Bounty, 15 million yen. 4 captured and brought to Kumo. Status, B rank. Approach with numbers. The next name was Kiba Inuzaka. Birth, July 7th. Height, 5 feet. Weight, 98 pounds. Chunin of Konoha. The heir of the Inuzaka clan. Used dog in combat. Sometimes rash, but an overall troublesome opponent. Bounty, 10 million yen. Captured and brought to Oto. B rank. Approach with caution, and with extreme caution when Naruto Uzumaki is with him. All three looked at their names and turned back to the council members with a look of surprise on their faces. This is a joke, right? Kiba asked, as some of them shook their heads. As Kiba Haku all sighed at the troublesome news while their attention was brought back to the Hokage. It seems that you guys were noticed during the Chunin exams. People are going to be coming after you, so be careful and more alert, Sarutobi told them, as all of them nodded. Sarutobi then clapped his hand. Alright, and with that, the meeting come to a... Wait, Gigi, one last question, said Naruto, bringing back everyone's attention to him. Yes, Naruto, said Sarutobi. Is it possible for two clan heads to combine their clan into one major clan? Naruto asks as everyone raised an eyebrow at his question. Some wanted to know the answer to the question as well. While it is not common, it is allowed between clan head if they want. Why do you ask? Sarutobi asks as he saw a glee in Naruto's eye. Oh, nothing, Gigi, said Naruto. Everyone gave him a confused grin, but shrugged their shoulders as Sarutobi stood to his feet. But guys, I'm gonna be ending this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification so they posted. Remember to share to all of your friends on the social media platform, and go ahead and check out Naruto, the God of Shinobi, and I'll be posting what if Naruto went back in time after this. So stay in tune and remember to enjoy all of the what ifs coming your way. So yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now guys. Peace.